you very much. Good morning. I would like to start my presentation with the picture of this gentleman. Does anybody know who he is? His name is Cloud Shannon. He is the father of the information technology. If you ever used a zip file or JPEG picture for MP3, we owe it to his data compression concepts. If you ever sent signals, messages, pictures without any error, or listen to Sc.D music, we owe him for his error correction schemes. If you ever send signals that are encrypted and secure, we owe him for that. He also defined the Shannon law, which calculates the bandwidth necessary to send a signal error-free on a channel which has a noise. It's a function of signal-to-noise ratio. Based on these concepts, which are 60, 70 years old, we have seen today the application of the information technology. Not in a specific order, but some of the new technologies which are considered disruptive are not in a specific order. Data stream, Netflix, Uber, Google Maps, cell phones, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, cloud computing, YouTube, Spotify, online banking, Amazon, Alexa, the robot of Amazon that you put in your home, which voice activated, can control your doors, lock your doors, refrigerator, Google search, give you a shopping list, Bitcoin, Facebook, self-driving cars, drones, Twitter, and so on. All these applications require a lot of bandwidth. And even though signals are considered, the information is considered just bits of zeros and ones. In fact, Shannon himself said that information is just ones and zeros. And I had a chance to visit him when I was a student at MIT in his home in Arlington. And he is referenced with a lot of quotes, very interesting quotes. You still need sine waves, good old sine waves, to carry all that bandwidth. And because of the amount of information you need, the carrier frequencies move up to microwave, millimeter wave, and optical frequencies. So how do we transfer all this information securely across the world without any errors? You have probably seen these towers, microwave towers on hilltops or building tops for line of sight communication. So microwaves are used for transferring information that we use freely today. Another example is use of satellites, receiving and sending information across the world. So even if you are in the middle of an ocean, with a small VSAT antenna, you can connect to internet, you can receive messages. This is a VSAT satellite picture. This is the picture of an iridium satellite. Anywhere in the world, if you have iridium phone, you can receive and give a telephone conversation. This is GPS satellite. At any time, at any point in the world, you have at least 3 visible GPS satellites looking at you, and you can determine your location. And this has opened up a lot of applications, even though initially it was done for military purposes. And of course, over large distances between continents, you need fiber cables. Usually go undersea. And huge amounts of data are transferred through these optical frequencies. This is an example of the cables that are already laid across the world. You may say, well, signal is going over optical frequencies, but individual signals from individual sources needs to be combined before it's loaded on top of the optical cable. And this box here has to operate at very high frequencies, approaching 300 gigahertz. So this is way into millimeter wave frequencies. How this is done? How is this possible? Well, you might say we have transistors, but in microwave and millimeter frequencies, they were handled with waveguides like this. When I was a student at Middle East Technical University, at microwave labs, this is what we used, waveguides. How do you go from this technology to semiconductor technology? This is the first transistor invented by Shockley and his 2 co-workers at Bell Labs, 1947. This is the first integrated circuit invented by Jack Kilby at Texas Instruments, 1957. It has 5 transistors. This is Jack Kilby. His integrated circuit technology led eventually to hand calculators and small computers. You probably recognize the TI hand calculator, which was very useful when it wasn't available when I was a student. We used to use slide rules. So when this calculator came, it was a major innovation. You can do sine waves, cosine waves, and take logarithms and so on. Today, of course, silicon industry has advanced to a point where you have billions of transistors on a single chip. And this is an example. However, silicon, even though it's so useful in many ways, it has certain limitations. It cannot operate at very high frequencies, frequencies that I mentioned at microwave and millimeter wave frequencies, because its electron mobility, which determines the speed of the transistor, is low. Also, as a semiconductor material, it's lossy, and its dielectric constant is not very high. So circuits on it tend to be large. So it's not suitable to handle the applications that I mentioned. This is how a silicon chip is mounted in a package. You see all these gold bond wires coming into it, and there's no way you can transmit, even if the chip is suitable for high frequency, there's no way you can transmit microwaves in a circuit like this. And when you package it, you mount the integrated circuit on your circuit board. And in your circuit board, you have all kinds of connections like this, very long, coupled. There is no way you can transmit or send microwave or millimeter wave signals on this that today's applications require. So, how did we move away from the silicon technology to today's technology? In 1979, DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, Products Agency in Washington, defined a program, and Raytheon Company and TI were the 2 winners of this program. The goal of the program was to make an integrated circuit form this module. which includes a phase shifter. You can change the phase of the signal. Transmit receive switch, so you can go either this way, power amplifier, and through the antenna, or receive the signal, LNA, low noise amplifier, switch, and then phase shifter. And to do this in a new technology based on, not on silicon, but gallium arsenide. Gallium arsenide has a much higher mobility, and it has a much higher dielectric constant, and it's a perfect lossless material to make transmission lines. At that time, not only making transistors was a new innovation on this material, but even growing the crystal and slicing it into wafers in right purity was a major problem. But these problems were solved, both at Raytheon and TI, and successfully, totally semiconductor modules, and this program happened to get expanded, which is 10 gigahertz, was successful. Here's an example of a MMIC, it's called Microwave Monolithic Integrated Circuit on a gallium arsenide. These are all microwave circuits that are treated as transmission lines for inductors, coupling, transistors here, and everything is done as a microwave circuit, including, meaning you take into account delays, the transmission line effects, and those properties, and you combine it with the high performance of the gallium arsenide METUs. This is another example. Transistors here and microwave circuitry in and out. The rest are DC circuits. This is another example. These chips are very small, and they are produced just like silicon technology on wafers, many of them in one wafer. They are packaged differently. One is the RF in, the other one RF out. These are capacitors for blocking RF, and these are DC connections. And it is mounted, as you can see, on a metal ground. So all the transmission properties are taken into consideration. And it is covered, again, with the dielectric material. As a result of this program and development of TR modules in electronic format, phase array antennas were made possible. What is a phase array antenna? Here's an example. Each slot you see here is an antenna, individual antenna. And you can control the amplitude and phase of the signal from each antenna. With this, you can have, by adjusting the amplitude and phase distribution, you can have a broad microwave beam, search the horizon. If you sense a target, you can switch it to a beam, sharp cancel beam, and then track the target. Or, using superposition principle, you can have multiple beams looking at multiple targets. So this was a major innovation. And you see that mounted on a modern naval ship here. Or you see it in airplanes, and this is a military fighter jet, and you see the phase array antenna. As usual, most technical innovations start with military funding, but the technology, of course, immediately started to move into the commercial applications. If you remember this, BlackBerry, it was a major innovation in 1991. You can send text messages with this. And every business person, every salesperson, every CEO had one in his pocket. And another immediate innovation was cordless telephone. A telephone which is not connected to the cord. And this was the Motorola brick. It used to be called brick because it was heavy. After that, in the 90s and 2000 years, the technology has expanded. Gallium arsenide material was expanded into other materials, into silicon germanium, gallium nitride, indium phosphide, and frequencies moved higher and higher, and it was possible to do both analog microwave millimeter circuitry and digital circuitry on the same chip. This is an example. This is another example, and you can see it operates at 240 gigahertz. That's an amazingly high frequency. And you have voltage control oscillators, digital circuitry, and so on. With this technology now, if you look at just the mobile technology, in 1991, I showed you the BlackBerry. You were able to do texting. And then 1998, we have the 3G, which allowed internet access. 1998, only 20 years ago. And then 2008, only 10 years ago, you were able to receive videos on your iPhones. And now, we are moving into the new 5G technology, which allows, in addition to everything else, ultra-high video, 3D video, and smartphone, similar to the Amazon Alexa application, and also allowing cars to speak to each other. Cars used to be just 4 wheels and an engine, but now cars are an amazing suite of technology with sensors and communication. And self-driving cars are already on the roads. And you can see the amount of technology on a car. The frequency spectrum here shows all the applications and where they fit into this radio frequency, microwave frequency, and millimeter wave frequencies. The gallium arsenide circuits, even though they work at microwave frequencies, because they are so fast, they have also used very fast switching at low frequencies, such as magnetic resonance imaging or MRI. From MRIs all the way to fiber optics, you have a whole range of applications in the microwave domain. Moreover, the communication is not limited to earthly communications. This is the Curiosity rover on Mars. And you are able to control this rover from Earth. And I'm happy to say that Hittite chips, company I formed, with the Hittite Sun logo on it, are on those Mars Curiosity rovers. And even better, in the last 15 years, most of the highest and state-of-the-art ICs are designed at Hittite Design Center in Istanbul by Turkish engineers. I spoke about all the good things and disrupted things that information technology has given us. However, is there a dark side to this technology? More than half a century ago, Shannon again made this comment. He was a little cynical, though, when he made this comment. that he was rooting for the machines. But I think we are at a time where machines and algorithms are really now starting to take over the human experience. Personal information is being collected at an unprecedented rate, with or without your knowledge or consent. Information is controlled and manipulated by algorithms that we have no control. And moreover, even though Shannon's theories make it possible to send signals and information without errors over a long distance, today we see a case where misinformation and disinformation is intentionally added into transmission channels by authoritative governments, by government-controlled media, by trolls, by national governments trying to affect the elections of other countries, or big corporations, whether they are oil corporations or pharmaceuticals or cigarette companies. This information is constantly added. So, I suggested in a couple of years, the title of a similar panel here will not be disruptive information technologies, but it will be destructive information technologies. I don't want to end my talk on that unhappy note. I don't have a Hoca joke to tell you. Instead, I will share with you this video. It shows my grandson, 3-year-old, trying to communicate with the robot, Alexa, and some frustrations he has.
To watch Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, see your purchase options on the Amazon website.
Alexa, play Captain Underpants theme song.
Captain Underpants theme song by Weird Al Yankovic.